Aurora and welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. Hello. Right, before we get into this, I am getting over a cold. I may well cough. I think the building work might be over for the day, but we may get some noises. It's actually why I'm in here. This seems to be the quietest room at the moment to film in. Fingers crossed. And last but by no means least, I will be talking about trauma-based mental illness in this video. Look, if you do suffer with any kind of mental health issue and you are worried this is going to be triggering, go watch something else. There ain't no shame in it, man. You got to put yourself first. You know, cute animal videos, something funny. I've just recently got into Gilmore Girls. Yeah, I know I'm very late to the party. Don't judge me on this one. There may also, yeah, as I said, I don't mention the banging. Yeah, there might be some banging. So I came home on Thursday. I was getting a cold. And yeah, I got to be stuck in bed listening to drilling all afternoon and all of Friday and all of Monday. I'm doing very well. Anyway, that said, I think we're going to crack on with this video before my throat starts to hurt any more than it already does. All right. Last thing, I'm not a medical professional. I am just a humble little writer who also happens to be diagnosed with PTSD. So I've got skin in the game. I know what I'm talking about, just purely off my own experience. But this isn't here for treatment, diagnosis, or anything like that. This is, you know, me talking about mental illness in relation to books. This is like research if you're doing book stuff at best. So that's done. Let's crack on. Look, I think it's great that we put mental illness and particularly like trauma-based stuff into like romance books. Even the cozy romance books, I've seen trauma-based mental illness in them, but I don't always feel like they're done justice. Because here's the thing. There's a few things, and these are definitely my experiences. You might not have experienced them yourself, or you might not experience them in the same way. That is fine. This is the thing with mental illness. You've got a load of symptoms. My symptoms and yours might not match, and we could still have the same diagnosis. Because, you know, there's so many to pick from, and you only need so many. It's a whole thing. So, yeah, just bear that in mind as well. Be kind. So, you're going into the book, and it is great, but they do, I feel like, miss a lot of stuff out that are definitely my experience. So first up, I'm going to say this. This is definitely not my experience or the experience of anyone I know with PTSD. And I was diagnosed with PTSD many years ago. Sorry. Here's the thing, we don't just magically get better when we meet someone. There is no, like, magic genitalia that makes us better. It just isn't. Sorry. I have fallen in love and I still had PTSD. It's just the way it goes. It's an unfortunate thing. And, you know, it's that I meet them and all these symptoms go away. Here's the thing. I'd be laying on the sofa with someone I absolutely adore. Who I love to pieces, whether it is, you know, romantically or even just as a friend. And here's the thing, my brain is still ticking over with that, like, okay, we don't stop. We are constantly on the lookout for, do we need to know how to get out of this room in a hurry? Right, can you get out that window? Can you manage the drop? Can you do this? Can you do that? You know, stairs, doors, anything. The hyper-awareness does not magically stop. No matter where I am or what I'm doing. I was in a pub with my partner and I've got one eye on the door going like, well, what if? How do I get out of this room if I have to really fucking fast? The one person who, if anyone laid so much as a finger on me, would probably rip their arm off and beat him with the soggy end. And yeah, that's still where my brain goes. Doesn't stop. This plays into the, oh my god, I had the best night's sleep next to the microtrope. Okay, this is not just with like mental health stuff. This is across the board. This is always the first time they share a bed. However, with PTSD, it really irks me, or any kind of like trauma-based issue that the one of the love interests have. It does irk me. Because here's the thing. I do not sleep that well, usually. I sleep better now, but back like a few years ago, I really barely slept at all. It was horrible. But even when I was next to someone I loved, because I would be laying there staring at the ceiling in the dark, hoping to heck that they were fine with me playing a podcast or something. This is what I do to help myself sleep now. Partly due to tinnitus, partly due to mental illness. But, I would be laying there going like, okay, at least I can listen to this, I can hear this, and I've got that to kind of distract me into, my brain does end up going through a lot of story ideas at this point, but I'm still laying there wide awake. Even though I love this person and I would love nothing more than to fall asleep next to them. Instead, I am laying there staring at the ceiling thinking, so, you're a mouth breather when you sleep, huh? It's just the reality of it, man. So yeah, I don't know, it's just, it can't just be me. I know it can't just be me. And I don't want to laugh in all of this because honestly, when you've got PTSD, I think most of the people I know with PTSD have real gallows humour, and it's how we stay sane. Anyway, leading on from that, and this was more when my PTSD was a lot fresher. Should we call it fresher? Let's say it was fresher. A lot more like raw, and but it was still something that went on for a couple of years after the trauma event. And it was just how goddamn lonely I felt, even around people, like whether it was friends or family or in a relationship. I just felt disconnected and really, really lonely. No matter what, no matter who I was with or where I was, it was just alone with people. There was no getting out of it. I just felt alone. And I don't know if that's because, look, my old GP described PTSD to me once. He's like, look, the reality is you go through your life thinking you're safe, and then something happens and you realise that ain't true. My God, that hit me hard. And this is the thing. I think there's that loneliness of like, I've been through this horrible thing, and everything feels scattered. Everything feels really broken and disjointed, and I think the loneliness stems from that. It's this thing that goes along with the loneliness, because I was probably at my worst about 10 years ago, and I was bad 10 years ago. I've been running from demons, and they finally found me, because the reality is they always do. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my best friend. I was on my best friend's sofa at a really hot summer, just with this cold, lonely feeling, because there is just this, see what I mean with the banging? There is this cold, lonely feeling, and it don't shift. And it's not like a cold where you just throw a jumper on. This is a cold that's like inside and weird and unsettling. The wonderful thing is, I don't know how much of this is getting picked up, but it is bad here. The wonderful thing is, those feelings do go away with time. Occasionally you still get them every now and again, and they sort of kind of knock you a bit. It's usually around anniversaries. Unsurprisingly, really. But yeah, they do go away. The last thing I'm going to say is, because some of the PTSD that I see in romance books, I think Wild Rose actually had it really well until it didn't. And quite frankly, I thought everyone was awful in that book, and I hated everyone, and I couldn't wait to finish it. I don't know why I didn't DNF the damn thing. It put me off cowboy romances, because it's my first and definitely my last. I find that when the trauma is a bit fresher, when it was not Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, it's an excellent book. Spice Cocoa Cafe, she's clearly got trauma-based mental health issues. Again, it's it goes away, and of course she's nowhere near as bad, and it's not on the same level of like Rose and Wild Rose, but yeah, it's that thing. She's only been away from an emotionally vile, emotionally abusive person for a year, and yeah, she's clearly carrying some trauma, but yeah, everything's so easy. And here's the thing, when you're fairly fresh out of it, like a year or even 2, I find, man, you're hard work. You are, because your brain is constantly on the alert, and you are tense and flighty and jumpy. I know I certainly was, and I've known a few people who've been in a similar position. And we're hard work, man. We're hard to date. It's hard dating us, and it's hard to date when you've got PTSD. It's hard, but it's not impossible. You know, I've got there. I'm getting, you know, I'm doing all right these days. And yeah, there's that, like, hang on a minute, this all happened to you a year ago, and you're getting into a relationship, and it's also very easy. I don't know. I always found that a bit odd, because just I've never known it just magically all get easy. You know, the relationships ain't easy to begin with, but, you know, throw in trauma and you're playing on hard mode. So that's all I've got for you today. I actually did this one without a script. I promise next week is going to be more scripted and better. I promise. And on time. I hope, just with everything that's going on. I have taken major psychic damage for not being able to escape the drilling lately. Anyway, give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Enjoyed it, feels like a really weird thing after I've just talked about trauma. Let me know in the comments below books where it has been done well, because I would love to see the representation done really well and in a healthy way. And give me a subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Of course, I have actually added a few new subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you so much for subscribing. It means the world to me. So that said, I am going to go and escape the banging and the drilling and everything else, and I will see you all next week. Take care, guys. Bye.